Hello, HBC challengers. Level 2, yes! And for those of you that came to hybrid camp this morning, I hope you experienced the level up with our training today. All of you just did an amazing job, and it was just so impressive to watch. So I'm coming at you here with level 2 and my piece of this puzzle this week. Coach Jesse did a review of what to expect in the coming week, and also very eloquently introduced Prajna Madhavi and myself and Anita for the tasks that are ahead. So I am the carbohydrate gal. The task for this week is to close your carb ring. And I want to talk to you actually about carbs from a constitution perspective. I think all of you have picked up the fact that Prajna Madhavi and I and the coaches also are looking at things from a constitution standpoint. So I'm going to emphasize that if you have not taken your constitution quiz, please do. And I'll post the link again in this group if you haven't done it. And if you have questions about it afterwards, you get your results and then it gives you a little bit of information about what that means. But if you have deeper questions, feel free to ask Prajna or myself about it, because we want to make sure that you absolutely get what it is that you need out of it. So that being said, we look at everything from a constitution standpoint, and especially food, whether it's carbohydrates, fats, protein, etc. The task for this week is for you to close your ring, okay? And I think a lot of you have already been doing that, but also to keep in mind what are the best carbohydrates for your constitution type. So if you are coming in after you take your constitution quiz, if you're coming in as a primary Vata, if that's the number that is the highest next to your constitution type, and we can trace a line of Vata being that ectomorph body type, because your constitution type tends to be more light and dry in nature, because you are made up of primarily the elements of air and ether, that you benefit from carbohydrates that are very grounding and that are nourishing. So what are some examples of that? Basmati rice, brown rice, oats, root vegetables like sweet potatoes and carrots, and they provide the sustained energy that is needed to balance Vata. Vata, because it's very light and dry, can be very rapid and very fast, and you can get very high energy and then also just kind of burn out a little bit as a result. So these kinds of carbohydrates in the way of basmati rice, brown rice, and oats, and then those sweet potatoes and carrots, those kinds of things, they will help with preventing any kind of instability and depletion, and also really grounding. So just keep that in mind as you are mapping out your food map, and just test it and see if you feel better and more grounded as a result of that. If you are coming out as a primary Pitta constitution, which is me, and that's why I'm doing this recording inside, because this is the hottest point of the day for we Pittas, and being out in this noon to like 3 o'clock hour during the summertime is the most aggravating thing for our constitution. And that is, we are in the mesomorph. If you were to draw that line again from Pitta to mesomorph, it's the same thing, just different language, and really kind of very interesting. So we tend to be very fiery. And for those of you that attended camp this morning, you can see how big the flame can get. And we want to therefore keep that fire and that inflammation, burning at a good rate, because it's excellent for your metabolism, but also to prevent any intensity that gets exacerbated with heat. So we benefit from carbohydrates that are cooling and soothing. And so what does that look like? That looks like barley, that looks like basmati rice, that looks like amaranth. And these help to pacify that heat inside of the body without causing excessive internal warmth, where we can get overheated and then we move into inflammation. And then finally, from a carbohydrate perspective, from a Kapha body constitution standpoint, so if you take your quiz and the majority of it is in that direction of Kapha, your numbers seem to be higher towards Kapha, Your dosha is very earthbound. You have a lot of earth and water in your constitution, and so that tends to be a little bit heavier, a little bit slower. So you actually benefit from things that would ground, that Vata has to offer you, which is things that are lighter and easier to digest. So things like barley and millet, corn, buckwheat, those kinds of things will have a lighter feel to it. And these help to prevent sluggishness. It helps to prevent accumulation of heaviness, which can be characteristic of kapha imbalances. So just look at your carbohydrates from a constitution standpoint, and if you have questions, let us know. We do have a variety of tools that we can provide also in the way of really understanding your constitution type and how it relates to food. So close the carb ring this week, try some of these constitution-based carbohydrates, and of course, if you have any questions, please let us know. Make it a great week. The benchmark is tomorrow. Try this, not that with Prajna Vadavi. Great introduction to what is to come, and we will post questions inside of the Telegram group for you to start thinking about as you're reading chapters 1 and 2 in your book. So that's very exciting. And Coach Anita will be coming at you with the supplement of the week, which will be creatine. So look forward to that video. Have a great rest of your day and go get them.